Alright guys, Delzinski here and welcome to another WWE DVD and Blu-ray review. This time we're looking at the title, True Giants. Yes, this is a review of gigantic proportion. Now this title was supplied to me by those good guys at www.dvd.co.uk and this is your best source for all WWE DVD and Blu-ray content. So if you like the sound of my review, check the link in the description box below and you can head over there and put a pre-order or purchase in once you're done listening to me. True Giants will be available from the 1st of December and you can pick this title up in two available formats. You've got the DVD version priced at £29.99 and you've got the Blu-ray version priced at £34.99 and this title is certificated of 15. Now just for the purpose of this review, I had the Blu-ray version. So, what is a true giant and is it all about giants? Well, not necessarily, because this title kind of squashes the myth that you've got to be 7 foot tall to be a giant. This looks more at the bigger athletes of the wrestling industry, the big guys, so to speak, apart from Ryback. Yes, Ryback unfortunately did not make the cut. So if you're a Ryback fan, this ain't for you. But let me give you a rundown of the giants that are on this list. You've got the Big Show, Gorilla Monsoon, the One Man Gang, and if you've got the One Man Gang, you've got to talk about Akeem. You've got Haystacks Cajon, Giant Gonzalez, Big John Studd, Kevin Nash, Ernie Ladd, Mark Henry, Kong Bundy, Psycho Sid, Vader, Yokozuna, The Great Khali, and last but not least, Andre the Giant. So that's a pretty comprehensive list. Now, if you get the Blu-ray version, I had that to review. You also get some more superstars. You get Earthquake, Abdullah the Butcher, Kamala, Bam Bigelow. And, you know, I would say it's definitely worth going for the Blu-ray version because you do get a bit more for your money. So that would be my decision. I am kind of disappointed that they didn't put these on the DVD as well, but there you go. Now, what I liked about this title was that you get narrative from either the giant themselves or someone that was very close to the giant within the industry. So for example, the Usos actually talk about Yokozuna, Harvey Whippleman talks about Giant Gonzalez, and Hillbilly Jim talks about Kong Bundy. Now, with guys like the Big Show, Mark Henry, they talk about their own career, and each and every single giant has their own individual stories, and they're really entertaining, I've got to admit. Not just do you hear about the actual time in the ring, but you hear about things outside the ring as well, and some are very entertaining and very funny, and then some things are very serious as well, because being a giant also comes with issues as well due to health and also just certain medical issues that can happen being that size. So it's a lot more than just being a sports entertainer. Now, the funny side of things are stories like Mark Henry getting a call from Vince McMahon and not taking it seriously in the slightest. So Vince McMahon calls up Mark Henry to say, look, do you want to come down to the WWE, have some tryout, and we'll see where we go? Mark Henry takes the call and doesn't believe it's Vince McMahon in the slightest and just hangs up on him. Next second, his agent's phoning up and said, did you hang up on Vince McMahon? Mark Henry's like, nah, that wasn't Vince. That was some sort of imposter. And he was like, no, seriously, you just hung up on Vince McMahon. And at that point, Mark Henry was like, okay. So obviously he did get the call back and they managed to get a deal done, and Mark Henry has been with the WWE for 18 years since that point. That is amazing, and that was confirmed in this title. I never knew Mark Henry was there for that long. But as I say, you get some very entertaining stories and you get to look at some of the entertaining moments from some of these big guys. For example, the chemistry between Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan, second to none. From their commentary to their on-screen actual moments, it's just hilarious. I love Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. You also have some very influential guys in this title. Kevin Nash, I mean, jumping ship to WCW. He tells the story of why he did that. And as well, you know, it was probably one of the biggest moments in wrestling history. So Kevin Nash is cemented in wrestling history for making that jump and being a part of the New World Order. I would say as well, you get a proper appreciation for what these guys do in the ring. That is just, you know, easily said, to be honest, because a lot of people class big guys as kind of slow, lethargic, they can't move, they're not quick enough, they can't pick up the pace, but that's clearly wrong by looking at this title. The likes of Kong Bundy could move, he really could. You've got guys like Yokozuna, he could do many things in the ring that normal guys couldn't. And then of course Vader, well, Vader even did a moonsault. So I mean, that's the point proven. These guys could move in the ring, they weren't bounded by their size. It just didn't matter. These guys were just phenomenal athletes. Another very funny story I'm going to say is One Man Gang being told that he's going to become Akeem, because it's always Vince, isn't it? It's always Vince. Because Vince called him into the office and said, we're going to change your gimmick. And One Man Gang was like, all right, okay. And he says, well, can you dance? And One Man Gang goes, no. And he says, well, you better get learning. And then the next minute he knows he's Akeem, he's doing the walk, you know, he's doing the dancing, and Akeem was born, and I liked Akeem. Don't know about you guys, hit that like button for Akeem. I thought he was hilarious, with the slickster as well. It was great. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stories in here, and it's very, very interesting, and sometimes you don't always appreciate how long some of these guys were around for, because like Psycho Sid, I mean, he was feuding with Hulk Hogan, and then he won the title against Shawn Michaels. I mean, that's a long period of time before Sid got that title, got that gold at that point. And that's a long career period. And I just found it very interesting to actually reflect and think about the time that these guys were in the wrestling industry for. It's very sad that some of these guys are no longer with us. And as I say, they do talk about the health issue side. Big Show talks about things before he was a wrestler that, you know, he thought that this was a blessing, just being a giant. But what came with it was a lot of health troubles as well. So you'll understand that side of the industry. Andre the Giant, the travel schedule that he had to go through is just unbelievable. It's crazy. And simple things like, to me and you, like jumping in a cab, going on a normal flight, clothes, were all very different to these guys, particularly Andre the Giant. He had to get, you know, special clothes made for him. He had to get first-class flights. I mean, you might think that's a good thing, but it certainly racks up the bills if you're paying for first class every single time you travel. He had to do that because he couldn't fit in the normal seats, and travel in cabs and stuff was all very uncomfortable if he had to go by normal transport. All of this obviously has an impact on you over time if you're doing that day in, day out. And it did for someone like Andre. You could see that it wore him down over his career. But, you know, credit to the man himself. He always did it with a smile on his face. And ultimately, the same with all these guys. They did it to entertain the fans. And that's what all these guys were about. Being entertaining. And yeah, I found it very, very interesting to actually get each story from each individual giant. And as I say, it kind of blows apart the myth that you've got to be 7 foot tall, because many of these guys aren't. They're just big, powerful, strong units, and they get the job done. So guys, one other thing before I actually just wrap it up is I would say to you guys that this title, you get every guys has an even amount of time. There's no little, there's no less, and there's not people skipped over. You do get an even amount of time per giant. So you don't think to yourself, oh, they focus more on the Big Show over a one-man gang. It doesn't feel like it in this title. When you're watching it, it feels like everything is evenly paced. So guys, if you do like the sound of this title, then be sure to head over to www.dvd.co.uk, and you can put in a pre-order or purchase right about now. I'd say this one's a good one. In addition to actually having the review of each superstar or the documentary, however you want to call it, you've also got a full set of matches on the other discs. So I will leave in the description box below a full listing of those matches that you get in this title. So if you want to go and check them out as well, check the description box below. All that's left to be said is I thoroughly enjoyed watching the true giants of wrestling. It was good and very, very enlightening for me how things work being a big guy within the industry. Now, all that's left to be said for me is please rate, comment and subscribe, and let me know in the comments box below who was your favourite giant from the list that I read out to you. I want to know who you think was the best and who was the greatest giant from that list. All that's left to be said is please rate, comment and subscribe. And this is Delzinski, as always, for another WWE DVD Blu-ray review, signing out.